Well met, fellow star travelers. Welcome back to Moonshadow Fantasy. I am your host, Makarios Moonshadow, aka Maka, here to bring you Golbez Unsynced Extreme. Before we begin, please take a screenshot of this. You will need these three macros in order to quickly and more effectively farm Golbez very quickly, plus your party finder will thank you later for it. I will add these at the end of the video and explain what these are coming up next. Special shout out and thanks to everyone who helped me create this video. Meili, Maka, Kalamet, Utaha, Ayame, Barry, Luna, and Lizzie. You guys are awesome. Very first thing you want to do, as always, put a marker down, pick your clock positions for your spreads, and your light party stacks for light party stack. So the fight begins like any other, except we do not get a raid wide at the very beginning of the fight. Instead, what we're going to get is something called Terra Storm, which are 2 rocks and some lightning. The boss will summon 2 giant rocks or meteors. Simply move to the safe zone, which is in between them. There should be a marker there. If not, you can use the arrows in the middle of the map. They're always in the corner. And then wait for the cast bar to get done casting Lingering Spark. And the second it's done casting, then move off to the side. Immediately after the lightning, get behind the boss. He'll turn in a random direction and do 2 sword swipes. So just get behind the boss and then just move to the other side of him once the lightning is done. After sword swipes is Binding Cold, which is a raid-wide damage followed by 9 seconds of bleed. Ahem. Next up is Gail Spere, our real true first mechanic. The trick to Gail Sphere is to call out to yourself the direction of where the ghosts go first. We got south, north, west, and east. The ghosts will then spawn wind line AoEs. It is our goal to stand in the empty line AoE spots for each in the order they first spawned. It is important to note that an ice wall will spawn always during the second line of wind orbs, so dodge that as well, and then once all 4 of these directionals go off, immediately get behind the boss to do his sword swipes, and then move to the opposite side. Phew, that was the first time I ever needed a script for a mechanic, but did you see that boss Black Mage leyline placement? It was nice. Next up is going to be another Binding Cold, raid-wide damage followed with some 9 seconds of bleed. Then a Void Meteor, which is a tank buster for your main tank and your pretend off tank, which is next in aggro DPS. Just toss them a shield or 2, they will be fine. And then next up is going to be Ashdai's Shadow. Now, for Ashdai's Shadow, there's going to be 2. This first one is just some DPS uptime. But then after he's done with that, he's going to do 2 raid-wide damage attacks to everyone called Black Fang. And then immediately after that, he's going to do his telegraphed move and an untelegraphed move. The telegraphed move is just is your macros that we had listed at the very beginning. If her shadow covers the entire map, big circles everywhere, that means it's going to be in, followed by a spread. And if it's a small shadow that goes up and down his sword, kind of thin, it's going to be out plus light party stacks. We will look at both. Once he's done storing that move, he's going to hit the tank with his second tank buster, which is 3 sword slashes, swipes, whatever. Mitigate that extremely well, tanks, because it does hurt. Immediately after the tank buster takes his hits is going to be the Ashdai's Shadow's stored move. This was the large one where we stayed inside of his hitbox and then move out into our spreads. Here is the small shadow version. Again, you stay behind the boss for his sword swipe, move to the other side, then spread out outside of his hitbox with your light party teams. Last but not least, Double Meteor, our last and final big mechanic. We have a slow-mo version and a fast one. Here's the slow-mo first. DPSs are going to go north, support is going to go south, 1 healer is going to be in the very middle. And all we're doing is we're all getting knocked back into a corner with flares going where the towers are not, everyone else getting knocked back into their towers. Everyone's in a corner except for the healer who has the big purple AoE knockback under them. They stay in the very center and then move backwards to get hit with a line attack immediately afterwards. So let's see it one more time. We all go to the center to see what we have. I am fake support. I go down south with the support team to man the tower. And in the case that I have a Meteor and can't go to the tower, that's when I pop my fake flex support macro, which tells another DPS, usually appointed, to go into the southern tower. And that's it. It's really easy. One healer in the middle, DPS is to the north, get knocked back into your tower. If you don't, unless you have a flare, then you get knocked back into your corner away from the towers up north. Support is down south. No flare, go into a tower. Flare over by yourself into the corner. And that's the fight. You should absolutely 100% skip all the rest of the mechanics unless your DPS is really, really low. Remember to desynth all of your weapons and collect these Golbez shoulder pads. They do make a really boss housing item that I love very much. Thank you again, everyone, for watching this video from the bottom of my shadowy heart. Thank you very, very much for watching. It means a lot to me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and join our Discord if you would like to farm some of these primals with us. We will be doing some savages next. And here is your macro list one more time. My name is Macarios Moonshadow, aka Maka. I'll see you on the next one.